Because Dusk of the Sharks wouldn't have sounded nearly as intimidating. Shark Night. This is the 2011 shark movie directed by the late David R. Ellis, who also directed Final Destination 2 and 4 as well as Snakes on a Plane. But before we get into it, make sure to check out my book, Chomp, which was written in time, thank God. This is a killer shark book that I wrote, and I'd be honored if anyone would check it out and give me feedback on my second book, my first being Wild Man. The links to purchase it on Amazon on paperback and or Kindle are in the description below. Let's get into the review. The plot. 7 friends go on a vacation to an island in the middle of the swamp that has one of the friends' houses on it. But there are sharks in the water! So now they have to fight those sharks as well as some ugly rednecks, like ugly in personality. Simple slasher story. Wait, this has sharks. So it's a shark movie that has slasher elements. Kind of like Jaws 2. Or any other shark movie from now. The characters we have here are a bit D-baggy at first, but they do grow on you. Sarah, played by Sarah Paxton from The Innkeepers, is pretty good. She is the shy girl next door who has a backstory with one of the rednecks, and That's kind of her whole motivation for trying to save the day, or trying to do anything for that matter. Nick, played by Dustin Milligan, is the buff nerd. Like, holy crap, dude. He really wants to make his studies and do good, but he also wants to bane Sarah Paxton. Or Sarah. Wait, they're both named Sarah. Shoot. Dennis, played by Chris Carmack, is the handsome redneck who has a past with Sarah. And that past comes back to bite her in the butt. And Dennis is actually a pretty good villain. He's got some intimidating features, like a scar on his face and a menacing grin, and it's pretty cool. He's testy, you can tell. Sabin, played by Donald Logue from Blade and Silent Night, for the remake of the 80s film, plays the sheriff, and I really like this character. He's so funny. There's a twist with him, and I was kind of bummed, but still, he's a funny character. He really loves the 80s metal scene and rock and roll, and got some interesting tidbits of facts, too. Red, played by Joshua Leonard. Yes, that Josh. The one who played himself, pretty much, Josh, in the Blair Witch Project. What? He plays this redneck who has shark teeth. Like, he sharpened his teeth to make him look like sharks to mouth. Weird. Ugh. Gross. Gordon, played by Joel David Moore from Hatchet, is seriously funny. Like, I loved his character. He's so much fun to watch, and his dialogue with Nick and everyone else is kind of like an awkward kind of dialogue. There's also Catherine McPhee, a whole bunch of characters in this movie played by solid actors and actresses. Each character cares about one another. I also thought they had good chemistry and the dialogue seemed natural. The sets and locations are top-notch. Seeing this in 3D back in 2011 was a bit hard because the 3D sucked. Watching it now, I can appreciate the lighting and camera work. This wasn't released on a 3D Blu-ray, which is weird. The swamp at night is eerie and gives you a foreboding sense of uneasiness to not only the characters but to the audience, or at least me. I like the setup of Dennis's boat. It's very old and faded. It's also got good lighting from the monitors and overhead setup. Why would a couple of rednecks have monitors on their boats? There's a twist, but I will not spoil it, even though it's in all the trailers, and you probably already know. Speaking of the trailer, I remember watching this trailer for Shark Night as well as Piranha 3D constantly earlier in the decade. Well, in 2010 and 11 or whatever. I was hyped. Even though this was PG-13, I was hyped to watch this movie. Sleep all day and party all night. It was just cool seeing a shark movie in theaters again. Now they're out so much frequently that it's kind of depressing, but the MPAA is pushed, but not too much. The gore, the effects, some bites, chomps, and nibbles, but nothing more than fishy flesh and red water. This had a $25 million budget. Made about $40 million at the box office, which is a lot less than Piranha, which is rated R. Go figure. But the budget was utilized to its full potential. Some of the CG sharks are a bit fake and blurry, and other times it looks pretty okay. There's also an animatronic hammerhead and great white that were awesome and a nice touch, especially the great white in that scene where it attacks a cage. The motion picture soundtrack, after a long and dubious journey to find it, found it! Shark Night, the soundtrack. The thunderstorm is just coming in. Perfect. But it's done by Graham Revale, who also composed a lot of horror movies like Child's Play 2, Bride of Chucky. Why am I holding up 5 fingers? It's number 4. Bats, Freddy vs. Jason, Open Water, and he gives an aqua-heavy score that makes you feel like you're in the water. And when it doesn't, it gives you some awesome rock and action-packed themes, and even some saddening violin work. I also like that part where it goes with the violins. It's cool. It's a solid soundtrack overall. Give this movie a fair chance. Sure, it's not gory and has some mediocre effects sometimes, but it's got some good stuff. I would say it's right at decent, but it has some... well, doesn't have gore, which really does detract from a movie. It's a shark movie. You want to see people torn up, not just red water. Still, I think this one was a good job done by with the talent behind it. Overall, I give Shark Night a 2 out of 5. Thank you all for watching, and I am Brian Gatto, the Horror Show host. Make sure to like, comment on, as well as share this video. Like my Facebook fan page and support me on Patreon, where even $1 a month will help keep this channel going strong, and I greatly appreciate it. Plus, you'll get access to my body counts and music videos that are not available on YouTube because of copyright and age restriction. Also hit that notification bell, and as always, subscribe. Blu-ray and DVD. I combined them.